welcome back to the Influencer Club. And again, this is Michael. And this is what I want you to do right now. Close your eyes and think of a warm place. Think of activities and meditations that will transform you into a greater being of yourself. And with that, I'm going to introduce the owner, creator, and visionary behind the retreat center in Costa Rica that will be opening up in a couple months called Lapazul. Elizabeth Patricia is here to tell us more about Lapazul and maybe a couple stories about why she actually started it.
Wow, thank you, Michael. That was a great introduction, and what a great. I hope you guys actually did the visualization. Can I just say a little bit more about that visualization? So it's about closing your eyes, feeling the warmth, and being on top of a mountain with a 180-degree view of the ocean. Seeing what is totally possible. It's expansive, just like the ocean. Everything is possible. Whatever your dream is, your dream can come true. And this is what happened to me. This is a dream that I've had for a long time. Many years ago, I would say about 18 years ago, I went through a really tough time in life. And all I really wanted was a place where I could be comfortable, where I could be warm, where I could do my work, my internal work, and feel safe and be able to transform into the person that I wanted to be. So this is how it all started. I mean, it started 18 years ago. Can you believe that? But it was just in the back of my mind. And I always talked about it, and it was something that I saw in the future. And finally I thought, hey, maybe it's not going to happen. And it was my lovely husband who 2.5 years ago said, you don't talk about your dream anymore. And I said, yeah, I don't. He said, tell me about it. So I did. And he said, let's go to Costa Rica. And so we did. We went to Costa Rica, and we were just in search of this beautiful place that I knew that I could find in that country. And in a minute, I'll tell you why Costa Rica. And anyway, so we went there and we looked at different places, and we were there with someone, a real estate agent from Canada that had been introduced to us. And he asked me again, because after the first 5 places, we didn't find what we were looking for. He asked me again what it was that I wanted. And I knew that I wanted a place with a beautiful view. I just knew that, with a beautiful view of the ocean. And so he took us up this mountain. And you have to go by 4x4. And we went up the mountain. And then he took us on this pathway, the entrance, and it was lined with beautiful palm trees. And I thought, oh, I'm liking this. And we got to the top of the hill, we got out of the car, and we looked out at the view, and it's a 180-degree view of the ocean. I mean, what a beautiful sight. I knew I was in the right place. I knew this was the place that I had been dreaming of for the past 18 years. And on the side, there was a palm tree. Now, palm trees are not native to Costa Rica, but this particular palm tree was it just really attracted me. And as the closer I got to it, I just felt this energy around it. And I thought, this is such a sacred place. This is the place. So next thing we knew, we signed the contract, and we were the owners of this beautiful piece of land in Costa Rica. And from there started the whole process of building the Dream Retreat Center. And it took us about a year to work with the architect to make sure that we had the plans exactly the way that we had envisioned them, that we wanted. And then finally we found the person to build for us, great project manager. And here we are. It will be finished in July, and it will be open in November 2019.
Awesome. So, um, there's a couple questions. Of course, how long should a retreat be at Lapazul?
Well, thank you for asking, Michael. I'll tell you what I have come to put together, which is the 5 solid facts about retreats. One is that it should be at least 7 days. And the reason for that is because you need the time. You need the time to get there, to just relax, to be in the environment, to get to know your surroundings. And then you can go into the work. You can go into whatever it is that you're there to learn. And it takes at least a day or two to just relax, open up, get in touch with nature, what's around you, and then be able to be open-minded and take in the information that you're learning. And so I would say 7 days is the perfect amount of time. And on top of that, I just want to tell you that what we're doing there are experiential retreats. Experiential retreats are a little bit different from other retreats that I personally have been on and that other people have told me about. And experiential retreats have 3 parts to them. One is the knowledge. So knowledge is of the leader that is there with you, with the group. Second of that will teach you that knowledge. Second is the experience, and these are the activities. One of the things that we're doing at Lapazul is that we want people to be immersed in the culture of Costa Rica. So they're just not going to a place to learn, but they're integrating and they're doing all the activities of that country. And then, of course, the integration that I just mentioned is the most important because you need that downtime to be able to absorb the knowledge, to be able to experience things in the country that you're in, and be able to come back and allow for that transformation to come back before you come home. So you can, once you're home, you're already in that state and you can continue with that. Yeah.
So I understand that there's like 5 extremely important facts about experiential retreats, and you're one of the experts on those 5 things. There's 5 points that really need to be there. Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell us about that.
Okay, so I actually started telling you, and one is that the 3 parts of an experiential retreat, which I just mentioned, and also the 7 days is another point that's really important. And then the perfect number of participants. This is important because many times people are thinking, okay, retreats, there's a large group of people, and we're offering something different. We're offering that intimate retreat. So the intimate retreats are the best for transformation, and they are between 8 and 12 people. I feel that 10 is probably the best number, but you can do 8 and you can do up to 12. Why? And that is because you want a cohesive group. Yes, you're there with like-minded people because everybody is there to learn the subject that they're there to learn. And you want everybody to be able to have the experience, to have the time of the leader is important. And so basically, if you only have, between 8 and 12 people, then you can have that bond. You can make that bond with the group. And that is so important. And it's not only for once you create that bond and you accept that bond, it goes way beyond those 7 days, way beyond. So you can move ahead with that group of people, outside of Costa Rica and just continue along. But once you've made that bond, it's important. So 8 to 12 people is the perfect amount. The other thing that is important to know about experiential retreats or any retreat, if anybody is thinking of hosting retreats, is that it takes a while to get them together. It takes a while to tell people about them, to bring in, the perfect people for the retreat, to invite the people that would want to be with you on these retreats. So you need to give yourself between 8 months and a year to prepare your retreat. So it's not something that's going to happen, really fast. And it's much better that way, because what you want as a leader is that you want to invite the right people to your retreat. And through whichever way you want to do it, if you're going to be having courses before the retreat, and you can pick out, your elite customers, and those are the ones that you're going to be inviting to the retreat.
There's another story that you have. And before I get you to tell the story, because I want people to understand that in this particular story about Costa Rica, inside of this story, there is a reason for having the retreat in Costa Rica, and it is also part of what you're going to bring back from Costa Rica, back with your life when you come back home. So, you want to tell the story?
I believe, Michael, that you want to know more about why I chose Costa Rica as the place. Yes. Well, there's two parts to that story, and one of them is that I was actually born in Costa Rica, and my mother's from Costa Rica, and but I never lived there. I went there, and I was born there, and 6 weeks later I was gone with my mom. We were moving to Spain. So we went to Spain, and then from then on, I lived in different countries. But even though I never lived in Costa Rica, I always had a yearning to go back. And especially, as I told you, in that time that was difficult for me, that was one of the things that I wanted, was to go back to Costa Rica. So my reason for having the retreat center in Costa Rica is a personal one. However, what I have noticed for years now is that a lot of people are going to Costa Rica. And a lot of people are starting communities down there. They are spiritual people, not necessarily religious, just people that want a different type of life. And so I wondered about this. I thought, well, why is it that Costa Rica is so popular right now for people to go down to visit and to stay there and to live there and to open retreat centers? And what I heard was the prophecy of the eagle and the condor. And I was just fascinated by this because it just made so much sense. Do I have a few minutes to tell you about the prophecy?
Yeah.
Okay. So the prophecy is that, and this is a prophecy that goes along all the Aboriginal groups in North, South, and Central America. And it was through actually their trading posts, because they used to travel, from north to south, trading things. So that this prophecy went through the whole continent. And they talked about that they knew that there was bad times coming, and that the eagle and the condor flew together, and that they would not fly together anymore. And there would be at least 500 years of strife. Well, what happened was that Christopher Columbus came, and all of that started when the colonialism started in the Americas. And so it was true. The eagle went to the north, and the condor went to the south. And they didn't fly together, and they knew. But they knew that in about 500 years that they would fly together again. And when they did, there would be peace in the world. So that date was actually in 2012. So we are a little bit past that, but the people are coming together. They're coming together. So it's like a catalyst in Costa Rica. There's so much about people wanting a peaceful life, wanting something different in their own world, that they need to move, actually uproot and move there. So it's really quite amazing. So for me to have the idea of this transformational retreat center there, where people can do their work, really made sense with this. It's like I received the calling as well, not only my personal calling, but the calling from the prophecy. So isn't that fascinating?
That's extremely fascinating. And that's exactly what's the story that I was looking for. You alluded to a little bit about that while we were chatting before we went on air, but it's like it's an amazing story. So the eagle and the condor will actually fly together, and we will find peace. That's the awesome thing. And one of the reasons why I broadcast is because I want to help people find peace, and why I brought you here. So, there's I'm gonna ask one last question, and because it looks like we're gonna run out of time soon anyway. And I always ask everybody this question, especially if they're building something transformational. What do you picture the world to be? And what does your ideal world look like?
That's a great question, Michael. And we always talk about big ideas and peace, worldwide peace, and all of this. And this is what I believe. What I believe is that you have to start within yourself. And if we do the work ourselves, if we find, peace in our heart, then we will be able to get to give and exude peace to those around us. Now, if we all did that, then there is no question that it would be a totally different world. So it's not, I think we're definitely changing from where people tell you, or we have gurus or we have leaders that are telling you, trickling down and telling you what to do. Now the shift is from the grassroots coming up. This is what I believe. So as we do our work, then we become stronger and we see more beautiful things. We vibrate at a higher vibration. And the ultimate thing is to have a world where we love each other, where love is the most important thing.
That is an amazing vision. And I hope that Lapazul becomes one of those catalysts that actually helps cause this. So thank you for joining us today. And before we leave, there's one other thing I want you to do for me, and that's to tell people how they can actually get a hold of you and start working with you so they can actually build their retreat in Lapazul.
Thank you, Michael. So the best way is to go to my website, and the website is www.lapazul, I'll spell it out, LAPAZUL.com. So lapazul.com, and there you can contact me. Just take a look and see what we're building and the whole idea. And if it interests you, please reach out to me and contact me. Otherwise, if you don't go onto the website, you can always contact me at info@lapazul.com. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for listening today. And I also want to thank Paula Scaper from Kinetics Media for allowing us to broadcast live from her location today. And I also want to thank Diane Hume for allowing me to nab one of her speakers from her Live Your Life Now event that was happening for the past 3 days here at Kinetics Media in Burnaby, BC. Thank you so much again, Elizabeth, Patricia, and thank you everybody again for listening. Bye for now.